Puccini informs me that last year the boiler exploded, killing 3 sailors. Frequently, to overcome the current or a narrow channel.
At the beginning of the 20th century, China was subjected to pressure from European nations. Great Britain, Germany, and France fought for a share in the riches of this suffocating empire. Russia and Japan were also interested. Already present in Indochina, France was trying to increase its area of influence. Control of the Yangtze River, the longest in Asia, was a strategic objective. In 1905, a naval officer by the name of Victor Bermon was sent on a mission to ensure French presence on the river. Based upon the photos he took, we will recount his journey and reconstruct his first impressions of China.
Leaning on the guardrail of the cruiser Liberté, I contemplate the Bay of Shanghai. Through the lens of my camera, I frame my first visions of China. 4 weeks ago, with neither white handkerchief nor farewell, I left Toulon. Since the death of my wife, only my brother, Pierre, connects me to France. I am hungry for fresh horizons. The heat in Shanghai is stifling, which doesn't prevent the rickshaws from running. I stop one and leave the French concession on 2 wheels. Here I am in the international zone on the Bonne. This long boulevard reminds me of Marseille, Anvers, or Genoa. Only the cries of the street traders and the smell of ripe fruit seem exotic to me. I've known Madagascar and its indolent natives. In Shanghai, the movement, the masses, and the money which abounds make me giddy.
Since the Opium Wars in the middle of the 19th century, China, beaten by the English and their Western allies, had been forced to open its ports. Shanghai, with its foreign concessions, was the symbol of the Chinese Empire's decadence and the trade war waged by Europeans.
4th of May, 1905. Dear Pierre, here I am on the ship taking me to Chongqing and the headquarters of the French concession in the region of Sichuan, my final destination. You know that I have traveled all the seas of the world, but this gigantic river takes my breath away. Upon seeing the colors of dawn, I understood why it is called the Blue River. From Shanghai to Hankou, it is totally congested with junks of all sizes. Further up, huge timber rafts line the banks. There is constant bustle. The river is like a palpitating artery of life. In my luggage, I have hundreds of glass plates to document my journey. I'm trying out my new stereographic camera. It gives the illusion of depth. I dwell on painful thoughts. It is nearly 2 years since my dearly beloved wife, Marie-Louise, died in childbirth. Her memory haunts me. After 21 days of travel, we have a stopover at Yichang. Steam stops here. I charter a junk with a group of traders from French Indochina. They speak only of business. One of them, a camera around his neck, seems pleasant. His name is Antoine Girard. I visit the town in his company. I want to see everything, to photograph everything. Not even the smell of rancid oil and rotten meat can spoil my impatience. The Chinese live in the streets a lot. Pharmacists sell powdered monkey bones here, a cure which would kill the strongest of sailors in an instant. Here, one has one's haircut in the open, one dines in the street, and, without a care for intimacy, one even relieves oneself. The Chinese take no notice of me. Hidden behind my camera, I seem to be invisible. This morning, as we raised anchor, our junk crossed paths with an imposing warship. It was the Vaterland, a German gunboat. Monsieur Girard railed against the arrogant Prussians in dominating English. "What is France up to?" he said. "May our flag fly here as it does in Indochina." We continue on our way along the river. It is less wide, held within narrow gorges. We have already traveled nearly 1,000 kilometers. Our junk is now progressing through wild countryside by the strength of men's arms. This is little Paul, Monsieur Girard's child. He seems perfectly at ease and already has his sea legs. A sharp movement of the vessel banishes my thoughts. We go from rapid to rapid, tossed around by the furious waters. I've known the tempests of the Bay of Biscay and typhoons of Madagascar, but the Yangtze nonetheless impresses me.
Since Marco Polo, the West knew that the Yangtze was a strategic trade route. Over 5,000 kilometers, the longest river in Asia kept the rich provinces of central China in communication with each other. It was navigable from the China Sea to the confines of Yunnan. The French had installed their furthest outpost in the region of Sichuan.
After 28 days of traveling, I finally arrive in Chongqing. The French flag flies from the top of the French Navy Bastide. Commander Grelier comes to meet me. The head of the French post is affable, replying to my military salute with a warm handshake. He introduces me to his wife. In the deepest depths of China, her clothes and her hat are of the latest Paris fashion, a genuine parakeet. In the courtyard of the Bastide, the small French community of Chongqing has assembled to greet me. On the left, in Chinese attire, is the father who runs the Catholic mission. At his side, playing with the dog, Officer Aspirant Luciani. He comes from Nice, like myself. At the top of the steps, in civilian clothes, stands Colonel Plant. Plant joined the French Navy 7 years ago. He's a legend, the best pilot for traveling up the river's rapids. Colonel Plant takes me to my room. With a conspiratorial air, he hands me a package, then retires. An opium pipe. Behind the facade of a distinguished Englishman, Plant would seem to be quite a rogue. I position my photos next to the chinoiseries and linger for a few seconds on the face of Marie-Louise. The quaysides of Chongqing are bubbling with activity. I finally discover the Ollery, our gunship. A sailor in diving apparatus is repairing the rudder which broke in the rapids of the river. Plant is supervising the work. He explains to the Chinese how to proceed. He seems unhappy about me taking this picture. I imagine he's ashamed of this boat. It's true that the Ollery is unworthy of France. How can we assure our supremacy on the Yangtze with such a tub? Plant is a strange chap. I like him. He is the archetypal eccentric Englishman. He lives with his wife, Alice, on a Chinese junk, and works for us, even though the British are our rivals on the Yangtze.
The English were the main rivals of France. Hong Kong, a strategic port in the Far East, had been conceded to them by China. On the Yangtze, they imposed their presence with 3 heavily armed ships. And yet France and Great Britain were officially allies since the Entente Cordiale signed in 1904.
At the Bastide, Officer Aspirant Luciani offers me an aperitif in his room. I'm getting to like this strapping 27-year-old. He's the same age as my brother Pierre. While his phonograph plays Parisian melodies, Luciani tells me of his passion for Chinese women. I reveal that I'm a widower. The poor boy is embarrassed. In the afternoon, I discover the Chinese city. It is built in steps, on the steep hillsides overlooking the river. It's the first time that I see nose cleaners and ear cleaners. When my brother sees that, he won't believe his eyes. I meet up with Monsieur Girard and little Paul to go and visit the Catholic mission. On the way, they photograph the Chongqing pagoda. Like most Europeans living in the colonies, the only thing that interests them is monuments. Personally, I prefer people. 9th of June. Dear Pierre, in the photo you see me next to Commander Grillier. He's handed me the captaincy of the Ollery and given the order to mount the Yangtze. I'm to explore its tributaries, to come as close as possible to Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan. Affirming French presence in the region, now there's an important mission. On the deck of the Ollery, the sailors await my orders. How good it is to finally cry out, "Cast off." The Chinese take in the spectacle. The only commander aboard in the absence of Grillier, I'm eager to outdo our European rivals, starting with the English. "It will be a bit rocky," shouts Cornell Plant. Here comes the first rapid. On the other bank, British officers aim their cameras at us, ready to immortalize the false maneuver which will sink the Ollery. Perfidious Albion. With a dreadful din, I call for full steam ahead. The Ollery spits out black smoke. Luciani informs me that last year the boiler exploded, killing 3 sailors. Frequently, to overcome the current or a narrow channel, it is necessary to be towed. Dozens of coolies drag the vessel along, meter by meter. Plant tells me that it is not unknown for one of them to perish in the waters of the Yangtze without causing the slightest emotion. Here, people risk their lives for a bowl of rice. We stop off at Hokkang. At twilight, it's off to the Red Dragon, the local dive. Surprising, the opium smokers greet Plant like a regular. Luciani goes upstairs to the brothel. I follow him, armed with my camera. Opium, women, all sailors have their vices. Mine, looking through a lens. Before setting sail next day, I visit Father Dubesquier. He's been running the Jesuit mission for 15 years. He tells me of the atrocities committed against Westerners during the Boxer Rebellion. He's been through a lot, but his community has survived.
Between 1899 and 1901, the Boxer Rebellion caused much bloodshed in China. This popular uprising was against Chinese noblemen and colonialists. The Empress Dowager Sichu manipulated the rebels so that they would only attack Westerners. Many missionaries were assassinated. In June 1900, foreign diplomats in Peking were attacked, and the German ambassador murdered. Western repression was pitiless. The Chinese Empire capitulated to foreign forces and was humiliated when the conflict ended.
After 7 days sailing, we arrive in Luchu, the tobacco and salt warehouse of Sichuan. Immediately upon mooring, aspirant Officer Luciani places his phonograph on the deck. The Chinese can't believe their ears. In town, the crew of the Ulri invades the only establishment serving alcohol. Undoubtedly, the month's wages will be spent before sunrise. Cornell Plant takes me to a pagoda where the Ghosts Festival is celebrated. The Chinese pity these wandering souls. Plant stands there, as impenetrable as a Buddha. This man is an enigma. Our stay in Luchu ends tragically. Luciani, overcome with fever, was found dead in his bed this morning. I had no idea that he had malaria. I've lost the only compatriot with whom I liked to talk, to die at 27, so far from home. The Ulri remains at its mooring. We continue the journey in a flat-bottomed junk. I tell Plant to raise the French flag. Our boat enters the River Ho, a tributary of the Yangtze. Our objective, the canals of the Chengdu Plain, the capital of Sichuan. Plant regularly questions villagers in order to find navigable tributaries. We are often obliged to backtrack. We travel upstream. This morning, we arrive at a small lake. We're greeted by half-naked villagers. Plant is certain that the route which we're constantly seeking must be north of this wild place. They fish here using cormorants. The birds catch fish in their beaks, but a ring around their necks makes it impossible for them to swallow their prey. I feel as though I'm watching a scene which every sailor has dreamt of. 14th of July, 1905. Mission accomplished. Plant takes my photograph surrounded by the villagers of Sichu. No European boat has ever reached this region before us. February 1906. Here I am back in Shanghai, this turbulent city which stifles me. While the Orly's boiler is being repaired, we go to celebrate the success of our mission. To celebrate France the Conqueror, here we are in a house of ill repute. We're all rather drunk. I immortalize the exploits of Greely and his friend. France the Conqueror is sturdy. I join the melee. The rounded backside of a prostitute brushes away my last scruples. I set down my camera and abandon myself. 19th of March, 1906. Dear Pierre, here we are back in Chongqing. The atmosphere is very tense. We fear there will be a riot. On returning from Shanghai, we discovered carnage at the Catholic mission in Nanchang. I took some photos after the drama. It was the murder of a local mandarin in troubling circumstances, which set everything off. The villagers blindly took vengeance. 11 missionaries were massacred, then thrown in the lake. The French consul demanded an explanation from Peking. The government claims to guarantee the protection of Europeans, but plays a double game. Here, each Chinaman is now seen as a threat. Today, the Tao Tai, the Chinese deputy prefect, is on an official visit. He is to speak with Commander Grelier about the massacre of the Christian missionaries. There is an excessive amount of bowing, with everyone deploring the situation and pretending to want to take measures. In the end, the Tao Tai tells Grelier and the consul that he has had certain elements presumed dangerous arrested. He invites us to their execution tomorrow. What atrocious hypocrisy. This morning, I traipse around waiting for the execution. Everyone knows that innocent people are going to be punished, just as a token gesture to Europeans. This is why I hate politics. The victims arrive, resigned to injustice. I take to the alleyways. I come across Plant, who drags me into a very somber building. A mat awaits me. The ball of opium crackles. I inhale deeply. Shapes become blurred, and reality fades. Seventh of May, 1906. Dear Pierre, I'm writing to you from my cabin on board the Orly. The Yangtze is still wonderful, but after a year in China, I've not managed to conquer my solitude. As for the country, I've realized that it was at the end of its rope, and we Westerners only worsened the situation. I became a sailor to fight and act, not to serve who knows what commercial interests. Consequently, I've decided to ask to be assigned to France. In the meantime, I'm determined to spend more time on my passion: photography.
In March 1908, Victor Bermon left the country. In November, the Empress Dowager Sichu died, and the Qing Empire collapsed. It was the last one that China was to know. For many years, the country was weakened by civil wars and nationalist struggles. Victor Bermon, upon his return to France, found a publisher. About 30 of his photos became postcards. To this day, they still bear witness to the last years of imperial China.